Hello everyone, welcome back to the Stretford Paddock for another episode of Paper Talk, the show where we sift through the dirt sheets to sort the truth from the lies. And unfortunately, again, there's not a lot of news to go on as far as Manchester United are concerned. However, Sky Sports are running with the main story that it is between Manchester United and Manchester City have told Leicester that they are prepared to pay £65 million for the services of Harry Maguire. Shouldn't come as a surprise his name being mentioned in the hat at this rate. It seems that every week throughout this summer, Harry Maguire has been one of the most consistent names in the hats. Although throughout the past few weeks it's looked like pretty nailed on that he's going to join Manchester City. Pep Guardiola has been pretty public in his admiration for the way Maguire, the way he plays as well, the way, especially if you watched him against City in that game, of course, where Vincent Kompany scored the title-winning goal, the absolute screamer. Maguire was absolutely fantastic in that game. Really showed. I didn't realise how good he was on the ball until I saw him in that game. Pretty outrageous. But yeah, £65 million is the figure that both clubs have come forward and said to Leicester they will pay. Was in and around their £75 to £80 million pricing of Maguire, but there's absolutely no chance they're going to get that for him. Do I think this is a good deal? £65 million for Harry Maguire, in my opinion, is maybe a bit too much given his age. Wan-Bissaka for £50 million makes a lot of sense for me, given the fact he's 21 as well. Harry Maguire, obviously an England international as well. But £65 million, I suppose if Virgil van Dijk £75 million, you can't really turn your nose up at that anyway. The MEN running with the story time for Plan B. It's kind of something that has been thrown around for the past few weeks, is that United are going to have to settle for their the backup target, Sean Longstaff being the primary one that we've seen name thrown around in the hat. Max Aarons as well. If the Wan-Bissaka deal wasn't to go through, he would be the backup for Manchester United, and they're running with the thing that United are going to have to be prepared to move for their fallback options, really, because obviously pre-season starts in about, I think it's like 2 weeks' time. They fly out to Singapore, I want to say, and they're saying that because obviously Ollie wanted to have, he said before the season ended, he wanted all his business wrapped up by the start of pre-season, or by the time they fly out for pre-season. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case now. And again, there's only 43 days left in the transfer window too. So time is running out for Manchester United at this stage. The Wan-Bissaka deal, again, a lot of journalists on Twitter saying that deals like this do take a while. To get over the line in this modern day age. And again, look at Ndombele, looks like he's on his way to Spurs. We missed out on him as well. So does that debunk that kind of theory that it does take a while to sign players at this period of football? But again, Ndombele for £55 to £65 million is the figure that I've seen thrown around for him. And I think he's going to do absolute bits. For Spurs, a lot of people saying that, for every Kante that comes out of Liga and there's a Bakayoko. You also have to remember as well, phone ringing there, you also have to remember someone like that. So look what Pochettino's done with someone like Moussa Sissoko. He's done absolute bits, brought him to a Champions League final. Who would have thought Moussa Sissoko would have been a Champions League final kind of quality central midfielder, especially when he used to be a right midfielder when he was at Newcastle. But again, proving that we do really not. It seems that we don't really have the pulling power we once had, and it's kind of bad when, with all due respect to Spurs, teams like that are pipping you to major signings. I think Ndombele, £65 million for me, given age profile and given his talent in the Champions League. We saw what he did at Manchester City, so it's not as if he's doing it against lower level talent. He's proven it against top clubs in the Champions League, but a good bit of business done there by Spurs. Again, the MEN running with the story again. One of the Chile greats, Ivan Zamorano, saying that this is in the MEN, by the way, if Alexis Sanchez is to have a chance of kind of reigniting his Manchester United career, it really is going to he's going to have to pick up his form. We touched on it yesterday as well. Sanchez, I don't think he will go. unless we bring someone in from Daniel James, you could say maybe is that. If we let Alexis Sanchez go, I mean, who do you guys think is going to start on the right? Actually, I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Who's going to start on the right wing for us come next season? Obviously, Daniel James being the only signing the only signing we have made so far. And Mason Greenwood obviously can't play on that right wing, although I think it's a bit early to throw him in the deep end, to be honest, at 17 years of old, especially with the pressure the club have on their shoulders at the start of next season. So if you ask me, it looks kind of likely that we could be seeing Alexis Sanchez hanging around, because no one can really afford him, can they? Who's going to pay Who's going to pay those wages? We have no one to replace him, and believe me, Ollie's not an idiot. He's not going to just kick players out without anyone to replace him, because again, that's what we need to do. That's what we have to do. We have to build up depth in the squad. And letting Alexis Sanchez go would just be thinning out the squad, despite what you may think. And he is, I know as well, I agree with you guys that 400, 500k, whatever he's on a week is far too much to have a guy sitting around to try to prove his worth. And the Daily Star running with a story as well, saying that this is a weird one actually, Real Zaragoza have taken a swipe at Manchester United over the future of 16-year-old sensation Mateo Mejia. No idea who this kid is, but apparently we've set to pay 130 grand for him, and we purchased his training rights and signed him without informing Zaragoza. It's kind of hard to. I'm not sure why a story like this has kind of made the back page. You're guessing there's no smoke without fire. It's kind of hard for me to comment on this signing, given the fact I have, and I'd be shocked if there's anyone out there, not a Zaragoza fan, who's heard of this kid. They came out publicly and said that no agreement has been reached, and I wouldn't be shocked, to be honest. It does fit the profile of what kind of Ollie's been going for, isn't it? Those young players he's building towards the future, the likes as well. Just a couple of stuff online as well, running with Ebola, again, that Portuguese outlet who seem to link every single Porto, Benfica or Sporting player with Manchester United every summer, or Liverpool, so on and so forth, saying negotiations between Sporting Lisbon and United for Bruno Fernandes are proceeding at a faster rate and could be closed soon. Spurs also in talks, although maybe, I think that all depends on whether Eriksen stays or goes for them. Apparently he's been linked quite heavily with us. I say apparently linked. It's the same stuff every day, isn't it? The tier 4, the tier 5's coming out and linking every player under the sun. But Ebola coming out and saying Sporting are holding out for €70 million. Both clubs are willing to pay €55 million. So that's about, I think, £47 million. And a guy who's got that kind of goal record, despite it being in the Portuguese league, for €55 million, you can't really turn your nose at that. They're going CDS, that's not Gazzetta, I'm not too sure. Italian outlet are reporting that Juventus plan to seek help from Adidas to sign Paul Pogba this summer. I said it yesterday. And as well, Juve are poised to get Buffon back from PSG. That's Sky Italy are reporting that as well. How the hell, at this point, I said it yesterday, Real, I don't think we'll be able to get this Pogba deal over the line if financial fair play has any weight behind it, given the fact they've spent in excess of like 250 million this year. And with Juve getting the De Ligt signing wrapped up, they're getting Rabiot in as well, Aaron Ramsey as well on 400 grand. I tell you what, Juventus really are just the kings of getting these free transfers. Emre Can, Aaron Ramsey spring to mind as well, getting Buffon back on a free. Even at 41, he's going to do bits as a leading figure in that squad. And De Ligt for a reported 65 million euro, I think it might have been. I'm not too sure. But again, it's hard to see Juventus kind of being able to get the financial muscle behind them to get Pogba this year. If financial fair play has any sort of weight or anything behind it. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. A lot of people saying Fernandes needs to sign. Again, I've said it before, I have my reservations. Every Di Maria you get out of the Portuguese league, there's someone like Nico Gaitan who completely flop and flounder, to be honest. Mind you, Victor Lindelof came for 30 million and is looking all right, to be fair. Koulibaly is worth that money. I'm not so sure about that, at 130 million pounds. A lot of people saying centre half as well. Yeah, well, sorry. A couple of people asking about the Wan-Bissaka news. A lot of people saying it could be announced today, actually, at about 6 o'clock. I don't know why 6 o'clock's the number that's been thrown around, but yeah, usually when there's these lulls in activity on the United Twitter accounts, people presume that it's an imminent signing incoming. All the promotional stuff, the videos. I remember the Sanchez stuff. I'm pretty sure the club have probably toned that down a bit because they'll be facing massive backlash. Also, as well, the deal, obviously England out of the under-21 championships, so that looks like that deal should be finished or concluded in the next 2 days. Obviously, Sky and everyone else reporting that the deal is nearly close, although Simon Stone at the BBC saying it's not quite over the line yet. It's a fluid situation, but we'll see what happens anyway. Why would Maguire go to us when he can go to City? It's a good point, to be honest, as well. It's kind of hard to see what we can offer Harry Maguire that Manchester City can't as well. And also as well, a couple of people asking in the comments about Lukaku. His agent was videoed in Italy yesterday, in Milan, at Milan's offices, saying saying on camera it's in the premature stages of getting the move for Romelu Lukaku to Inter Milan. But apparently he was there just to represent another client as well. Anyway, that's all from us today, guys. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to drop suggestions in the comments down below, and make sure to hit subscribe. You've been absolutely fantastic. We're aiming to get to 10,000 subs by the start of the season. You've been absolutely fantastic so far. So we'll see you soon. Thanks.